Damn!
What's going on there, guys? So, got a fucked up seat like this one, Suzuki Bandit seat, and honestly I'm too lazy to go through right now and pull all this shit off. I'm gonna show you how to fix this in about 5 seconds. This is a scooter seat cover, and I found that these things actually shape and form really well. They have a couple Velcro straps that go underneath, and there should be 3 of them. What you're gonna do is pull this right over the front, like so. And then you're gonna take this, you're gonna stretch it out across the back, try to make it as even as possible. You may have to fight this for a minute to get this up and over, and just pull and stretch a little and get things situated until they all fit over like they should. There you go. Start getting everything together, both sides. Grab it, pull it all the way around until it's all the way across the seat. Now, as you can see, we're almost there. Like, we're literally at this point where all we have to do now is start to pull everything nice and tight, find our Velcro straps wherever they went. Here's one. Pull them out. Get them in a spot where you can work with them. Let me see here. There's another. So there's one right across here. Should be another one back here. There's that one. And where the hell did that last one go? Unless I pulled this up too much at an angle. I did. Okay. So I'm going to have to take this slightly. One side's a little more off than the other one, so we're going to have to pull this up, pull this back, pull this side up, like so, stretch it across, pull that side back. You want these straps to be completely even all the way across. And I think this strap here actually was installed a little weird. I think this one was not put in a straight line, which is fine. It's okay. We'll take a look at that here a little bit more in a sec. Ow. So from here, it's just basically pulling everything as tight as you can across the seat. Pull, pull, pull. Try to get both sides as even as possible as you go. And the more you do it, the more the seat will come into its position. Now, to straighten this out in the center, what you're going to see is when I start pulling those straps across and tightening them, you'll see that all this will start coming together very easily and quickly. So proper tension all the way across. You want your Velcro to hold as tight as possible, as good as possible. There we go. So I'll work on the centerpiece here. Remember not to pull too hard or you'll pull the straps right off, but you want each side to be just about as tight as the other side. There you go. You can see how that works. Pretty easy. And this one here, though, this is unfortunate that they didn't get this strap lined up quite correctly. This may cause some wrinkles. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how this looks. I'll play with this side a little bit more because, as you can see, it's kind of hooking up around this corner. So what I'll do is I'll pull this a little tighter up here on the top. If I have to, I'll get my staple gun out and I'll staple it. But the more you play with this, the more you get everything tight, and keep messing with it until you get just the right tightness all the way across the seat, the better it'll look. See what I mean? So as you go, the seat just starts coming together. Now remember, guys, this is a scooter seat. It was never designed for this, but it works perfectly for seats that don't have big ridges or divots or anything crazy in them. So just keep working with the seat until it finds its happy little median across the board. Keep tightening your straps as necessary, and like I said, when you're done, you should have a fairly well put together seat without having to redo the whole thing. Now bear in mind, this seat had some massive rips in it, so short of me redoing all the tape, which you can see some of the little tape I put underneath there, that's to keep the seams from parting. But for the most part, I mean, that keeps me from having to redo all the old seat cloth, and that took me literally, what, 4 minutes and 23 seconds to get that thing to a point where it's nice and flat, goes right on my motorcycle and hides all of the imperfections. So there you go, guys. Hope that helped. I'll put a link for that scooter seat in the description of this video. Like I said, it's fairly simple. I've done this to a lot of motorcycles. Some of them you actually have to pull tight, shape, form, and staple, which you can with this one if you want to. If you really want to get down to it, you can pull this nice and tight until everything starts looking really good, and then staple it into place. These seat covers are actually pretty good. For being as cheap as they are, they're pretty good. So as you can see, I've got a little bit more work to do on this one side here to get this to look really good, but that's because that strap, for whatever reason, at the factory, they didn't put the strap in the right spot. That one should have been back here. So what I'll probably end up doing is just pulling this tight and dropping a staple on this one side just to keep this from getting worse. But yeah, for the most part, you can even cover these because that's basically where your seat is just going to settle. So I'll end up pulling that tight and probably dropping a staple right on this rubber guard, and that will keep that one side nice and tight right there. So we'll just have to work out a few more of the imperfections, get this as tight as possible, and then I'll drop one staple there that'll hold that whole section just like that. So I got to get a little bit more of these wrinkles out here, which means this side has to come back, 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 back. So I'll have to put a staple up here and one right there, about like that. And that should hold that nice and tight. So pretty simple, but there you go. That's a $7 scooter seat, and this is pretty good material. It feels really good. Feels nice to the touch. It is waterproof. You know, if this thing lasts 2 or 3 years without issue, then I would say you got a pretty good deal. This will shape to your tank, so when you push your tank in, when you push this against your tank, it'll pull it tight like that. So it'll take out that weird little imperfection shape that you got going on there. But there you go, guys. Catch you on the flip. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. I try to show you cool stuff like this. Save yourself some money. That way you don't have to go through the whole process of doing a whole seat cover if you don't want to. These things are pretty simple. Maybe a couple staples. Unfortunately, the guy that was working my Chinese factory that day decided not to line these up very well. So he clearly put this one way too far up and this one way too far back. That's China for you. There you go. That's the only thing I can say, but this one has to stay down far enough that the hooks can still go underneath the seat and grab it. So this one's good here, but this one has to be down far enough that it'll hook in the seat bar. Same thing with up here. So there you go.
Are you sure this is okay? You're in country, dude. Live a little. Now, she's pretty sensitive, so go easy on the throttle, okay? All right.